What up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. God bless everybody watching now and on the repeat. Today we politicking, ladies and gentlemen. Christy, you there?
Hey Nino, I'm here. How are
Christy
you?
Maga. I'm excited about this one, sis. This is a good friend, brother on Instagram. Guys, if y'all don't follow us on Instagram, come check us out. It gets wild. We have a lot of beef, drama, and we stand up for our Christian beliefs and our religious and political ideologies as well. And we're not ashamed. Ain't that right, Christy?
Absolutely.
Amen.
100%.
And Christy, this candidate right here is a good friend of ours on Instagram, David Winkler. Ladies and gentlemen, we want you to hear his story. And God bless his family that's watching on the live stream right now. Thank you for watching. And we got a great man right here, y'all. David Winkler, a.k.a. the Philly Conservative.
I agree, Nino. He just is a guy that stands up for what he believes in and has lots of history that he can tell about himself, but is somebody we definitely need in our corner.
Amen. What's up, Brother David? How are you?
Hey, how's it going? Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Appreciate it. Appreciate you coming. So right now we want to give just your backstory, let you be introduced to the YouTube crowd, everybody on Facebook and the YouTube, of course. Let them know who you are and what you're doing, and then we're going to go into your background. Go ahead, brother.
Oh, okay. So for those of you guys who don't know, my name is David Winkler. I'm a Republican congressional candidate, and I'm running out of the 4th District of Pennsylvania. My background or my roots, man, I'm originally from Southern California, man. I grew up in Orange County, California. And the military kind of moved me across the United States, man, kind of almost like a reverse manifest destiny on how I ended up over here. I'm a prior Marine. So, I really kind of want to get in depth about, that my prior history. So when I say I'm a prior Marine, I fought in Fallujah in the beginning of the war. I fought in Ramadi, and I also fought in Helmand Province, Afghanistan. Then as an infantryman, and then I crossed over to the Army, became artillery after the infantry time I had in the Marines. Spent almost about 10, 12 years over there in the Army before I became a police officer. So I have all 3 backgrounds to kind of understand, what's going on here in America, and the reason why I need to stand up and fight for Philadelphia. We become lawlessness, and there's an absence of faith, absence of God, absence of just rule of law. It's become almost like a different country. So I'm going to stand up and I'm going to fight for Philadelphians.
Well, that's great to hear. My camera's back. That's good to hear, brother. That's what's happening with this country. This country's on a downward slope. There's lawlessness across the land. There's wickedness and filth that's being pushed and promoted. And I think that's why we have, that's why I always said, I think that's why we got Biden. I think we got who we deserve. And it's going bad. And to be honest, if we can change this country, great. But if not, great. We're still going to stand for what we believe in. And it's like lack of better words, we're not over my dead body, basically. Even if we end up losing at the end, I'm still going to stand, and I know, brother, that you will too. Let's get into your upbringing. You said you're born in California. How long were you there?
So here's the interesting thing. I'm actually was born out of foster care.
Oh, wow.
And so, this whole fentanyl and drug issue kind of, I take it personally. Because my upbringing, I was put into protective custody, ended up in foster care because my parents were involved in the drug game. Got adopted out of that. God bless my adopted parents. I did preschool through about first grade over in Canada, then came back, grew up, and went all the way through high school or the beginning of high school. Then I went overseas to high school in Ireland, and then I came back.
Wow.
At that time, actually in Ireland, that's when 9/11 happened, and my brother was a medic already in the Navy, so I already knew what my choice was going to be. My brother isn't going to war, without, little brother there. So, I quickly graduated high school, and I wanted to join my brother, we watch over each other. And so I went to the Marine Corps route. Didn't end up in the same unit as him, but we did end up on the same deployment. We were in 2 different areas, and we were able to meet up at one point. Wow. So it was kind of an interesting, tale. But yeah, so that's kind of like the upbringing. I mean, I spent, majority of my, upbringing in California before the Marines and the Army took me away from it.
Wow.
So,
You end up going to Philly from Cali. Hold on real quick.
so
Go ahead.
past that. So to explain that, so how I ended up in Philly was right before I ended up in Philly, I was a cop in Tennessee.
Wow.
I was over, I was a cop in Tennessee.
You jumping in different
So
states,
as I said, there's a whole lot of intermix because what happened is after my Marine time, I ended up getting stationed with the 101st when I was in the Army. 101st is in Tennessee, and it's on the border of Tennessee and Kentucky. So I fell in love with that area at first, and then I ended up, as I said, going overseas, deploying multiple times with the 101st. Then I came back, went on recruiting duty to New York. So I'm going to keep going into my history here. Went to recruiting duty in Brooklyn, New York. And so now you start to see where the East Coast comes in.
Wow.
Well, I was living more on that Jersey side. Then I went over to Korea, came back from Korea, went over to Fort Sill. So when I keep saying I was bouncing around my whole entire military career, now I ended up, my brother who I served with was like, hey, I want you to be a cop with me in Tennessee. I've been serving on that force for a while. So we ended up serving in the same city of Murfreesboro, Tennessee, which sits right outside of Nashville.
Wow.
And then here's the interesting thing. This is where my moral side of me kicked in. This is around the time of vaccine mandates. I resigned my commission because of vaccine mandates.
Hey, brother. Brother, real quick, just kind of be careful. We're on the YouTube, so we got to kind of just, you can say what you want, but just watch out because you know how they are over here. But continue. It's all good.
Yeah, so I had that moral conflict, and I came up to Philadelphia where me and the wife and all that are now living in Philadelphia. We've been here or at least I've been here for over 2 years. So it's been quite an interesting ride. But ever since I've been here, I've seen complete lawlessness, complete hopelessness, and just it seems like I'm in another country.
Wow.
And I feel like it hits me hard because it feels like I'm back in like Iraq again when I'm walking around villages.
Wow.
And the sense of hopelessness that they had when I was over there. So this is a personal fight because I care so much about the American people.
Amen.
Right? This isn't about politics. This isn't about money to me. This is about helping people because I got to raise a family here. And I want what's best for my family. And when I mean like that, I mean it's also everybody else. If my family succeeds, I want everybody else's family to succeed over here. So I take this as a personal fight to restore Philadelphia back to its beautiful state that it used to be. This is nowhere near the way Philly used to be. This isn't the city of brotherly love.
Ain't it where they had the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, right? Ain't he from Philly?
Yes.
You ever been to that park?
Yeah. No.
Okay. All right,
I haven't been out there.
Real quick, all jokes aside, you told us about how I asked you about, Philadelphia, where my image when I think about Philly is when they're driving down, I posted it, went kind of viral. They're driving down like these streets, and like you said, it's like a third world country. There's a bunch of bums, homeless people, fires. It looks like Mad Max / Terminator. I forgot the exact movie I'm thinking in my head, but I asked you about that, and you said you went out there, and what were you doing out there? Let the people know what you were doing. That's pretty interesting, bro.
So I went out there to go.
What's it called? Hold on. What's it called? What's that area called, or what is it? I don't even know. It's like a strip.
It's called Kensington Avenue.
And where is that at?
Very famous. It's in North Philadelphia.
Okay.
Northeast to be specific. I went out there to go and see what I could do and get eyes on it because I know nobody or no government leadership goes there. I wouldn't want to
go there for real.
Yeah, and so that's something about me is I will go into places that nobody will go to. I believe that there's been a lack of compassion and a lack of caring from the Republican Party in general. And I'm just one of those that I'm not afraid to go anywhere. I'm going to go into places and I'm going to see what's going on with the people. And I just happened to go to Kensington. I was on live, and I think some of you guys probably saw it, where I had a guy that was overdosing. I had to drop the phone, and I immediately administered Narcan, and then did some life-saving aid there and got him over to a nurse. Now, what I found interesting was it wasn't a paramedic / EMS type nurse. These were out-of-state nurses that came down there because the actual Philadelphia fire and EMS, they don't really come there that often. Neither do the police. So it's literally these outside groups having to help all the addicts and homelessness or homeless people, to you name it, that are just out there. And it's not like they're out there alone. There's predators out there. Like I was walking around and drug dealers were just standing right there handing out the poisons as people are trying to, give them medical aid and get them off the streets. So it was like, it didn't matter how much you tried to help them. You had the people providing the same poison at the same time. It was out of control. And I just felt hopelessness there. And I think that, it's that Christian side of me that was like, no, we're going to dig in here. We're going to make some change here. So, I mean, that's. I've never felt anything like that.
Will you tell everybody kind of what you had told me in the pre-show that, like I said, I'm originally from Kentucky and, lived out on a farm and then moved, to Florida, where we don't see, like I said, we might see an occasional homeless person sitting in front of a 7-Eleven or something like that. But you were telling me about vending machines that you all have and like kind of the process for that. Tell people about that. That was to me.
Okay, yeah. So, here's the interesting thing. I was talking to a bunch of like advocate groups that were out there near the SEPTA train station that's out there, and they were implying that the city provides the needles. They, upon further questioning, I would ask them, like, which part of the city, who, or whatever. They don't tell you. They're like, we don't know who's providing them within the city, but the city is blessing off on needles getting out here. They'll dump needles out to these vending machines. Well, these vending machines get rated, so by the addicts. So yeah, I mean, like they just take all the needles and all the supplies and everything else out there. So it's I don't know. I can't tell you who in the city, but we're trying to get after that answer for you, Kirsty. Trying to figure out who and all is involved with it, because part of my platform is to bring down a federal investigation / probe into what's been going on in these open air, drug markets. Whether it's in Philly, whether it's over there in California, Portland, whatever, we need to bring down some serious federal investigations into this.
I agree, David. So, I got a question because I'll kind of get involved locally. You know what I'm saying? We help murder cases and missing women and children, and I feel like there's a sentiment of maybe that the police don't care, and I don't want to be anti-police, but it's like people are looking for a hero. They're looking for help, and I started thinking like, why can't we as the people just start cleaning up our own communities, like going and excuse my language, kicking some ass. You know what I mean? I don't know if you feel the same sentiment, but like, are things going to change with these politicians? And with that, I want to segue into a great question from a great patriot, Tito. Tito has a question, and it's a good question. It says, Dave, what's the foundation to your campaign? Meaning, do you care about the parties, or is the Constitution more important?
Okay, so I'm not an establishment type, right? All I care about is the Constitution. And that's all I've ever cared about since I took my first oath. I swore an oath to the Constitution, not to a party.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right. And people need to understand that. I didn't even swear my oath to a certain individual president. Right. I swear it to the Constitution. Right. And that is where we need to get back to. Amen. What does the Constitution state? What does the laws state?
Yep.
Not what does my party want, or individual populists. We need to get back to constitutional founding.
But David, the way you think is kind of dangerous. Do you think that you even have a chance in the political swamp in your area, stating you're a Christian, stating that you want to be for the Constitution. I think nowadays it's kind of a bad trait to have for a political candidate. Would you agree with that? Like, they don't probably wouldn't want you around. Maybe even people from your own party. Have you seen backlash, or do you think that's a fair statement? Or can you touch on that? You being in politics.
Yeah. Just giving you guys a heads up about my campaign. I brought on a very powerful campaign team that helped win some Sears over in the lieutenant governor race in Virginia. So they're the ones that are behind me. Wow. I'm running outside of the establishment GOP right now to build so that we have the backing. And that actually, I get a lot of patriots like you guys, or a lot of these grassroots that are donating to the campaign and helping because they understand what the establishment GOP is.
Thank you.
And so we are running outside of it on purpose. I will tell you right now, the GOP chair isn't looking at challenging me because of how strong that we're coming out. Now you're asking, is it a problem? I got to set the example. Look, it's not necessarily like I'm okay with losing at the end of the day if I stick to the values of who I am.
Fair enough.
Which is I will never fail the Constitution. I've taken an oath to it multiple times. I believe in the American system. I believe in the American institution or America as a whole. It has been able to help me go from foster care to success. I should have been a statistic, by all means been a statistics, but I became a success. I believe in the power of American ingenuity, and that's actually what my campaign stands for. I literally talk about bringing back the fires of American ingenuity, American individualism, exceptionalism, the fact that you can achieve whatever you set your mind to, which is literally my pillars. If you guys go to my website or you guys check out who I am, dream, inspire, execute are my 3 pillars. That is what I'm bringing. Now, in the end of the day, I'm going to get attacked by rhinos. We all know that. I'm going to get attacked by Democrats. But that's not what this is about. I'm going to show people what real leadership looks like. And I'm going to use a term that people are not very familiar with called servant leadership. Right? It's the idea that we serve you. It's not the other way around. I think politicians have had it backwards for not only decades, probably over like centuries plus here. We serve you. It's not the other way around.
Amen.
And it's time that we bring that kind of mindset back.
I totally agree.
And you know what? I have to say that's a platform that Nino stands on a lot, is about what you just spoke on, that the leadership does work for us, and he holds his community accountable. And
they don't like me.
And they don't like Nino, but his voice is heard, and I think yours is going to be heard too. And yeah, we have to get back to the basic roots of the Constitution. We have to.
I got a question. Well, I don't want to hit that one yet. What's your stance on Trump?
My stance on Trump is this. Once again, I believe in fair and equal application of laws as well as the execution of those laws. Now, I don't have necessarily a problem when it, as a former officer, if people want to indict, because, I've heard, I don't know if you've heard this saying, but you can indict a ham sandwich. Now it's up to the Constitution to come into effect. I believe in upholding the constitutional rights of the accused. You will not violate Trump's 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. There's so many different ones that I can talk about here when it comes to the defense of an accused. I had taken issue with what's been going on in America in general when it comes to social justice issues, when it comes to pretty much playing to the court of public opinion. That's just what we're playing to now, not the actual court of law.
Good
and
point.
So what I would say with Trump is, if you're going to indict Trump, that's all well and good, but you are going to respect his constitutional rights.
Amen.
You're not going to go on television on MSNBC to CNN and already tell everybody that he's guilty. You're violating his constitutional rights. It's the same thing with January 6th. They have a right to a speedy trial. I keep talking about, part of my platform is to make sure that January 6 people, they get the remedy that they deserve based upon the constitutional violations.
Thank you. Okay, I got another question.
Yeah.
Anybody have any questions? Put them in the chat, y'all. My next question is, well, I have it right here. What's your opinion and stance on the border / illegal and legal immigration?
I'm I'm a law and order type of guy. So I believe that we need to be enforcing all USC code or federal laws, which if you guys aren't familiar with them, USC 1326, 1327, but you also had 1325 as well. Pretty much, it is not only a civil violation, it's also a criminal. So if you come across that border illegally, I'm expecting to see prosecution, as well as I'm looking at civil fines. You got to come. People have got to come across this border in a legal way. There's thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of people waiting and doing it the right way. There's no excuse for it, and it's not only the southern border that I'm paying attention to; it's also that northern border.
Okay.
Canadians are well known to do it as well.
Wow.
Yep.
And Canadians have been actually getting away with it, because I don't know if you guys knew about this loophole, but Canadians can actually touch ground here in the United States, stay here for 90 days.
Yep.
And then all they have to do is go back to Canada, touch ground, and then come right back for another 90 days.
What?
Yep.
No.
I know a whole story about that. Yep. Americans
I pay attention to both sides of these borders. We are a nation of borders. We are a nation of laws. These laws need to be enforced. That also includes the Immigration Reform and Control Act, where our businesses should not be hiring illegal aliens.
Okay, thank you.
And so I'm looking to enforce that as well, because I'm tired of immigrants being used for cheap labor in a lot of these sanctuary states. They're using it as a form of modern slavery.
And then, to be honest, what happens, and I can attest to this, is, if I need myself back over here, here I come. It brings down the wages of people like me. My mechanic told me yesterday that there's guys coming from different countries, Florida, Cuban, whatever, to West Texas, and they're going to charge way less for probably good, if not better, service. And it's hurting the whole economy, because that's the mechanic. I'm the driver. I hire drivers. Like, they're actually hurting our pockets as business owners, because you can get it for cheaper. And it's cool to get it for cheaper, but damn, are they here legally? Are they paying taxes like me and my corporation?
Yep.
It's tough to run a business in 2023, especially under that old pervert Biden. You know what I mean? So I'm with you on that. I got another question.
Yeah, because I feel like last point on that. I feel like a lot of businesses, and I saw it in California growing up. I've seen it when I was over in Jersey. A lot of these businesses get away with paying people underneath the table, avoiding IRS filings, whether it's W-2, 1099, or whatever. They're not actually doing the right thing. I think that I absolutely support ICE, DHS's ability to do their job. Now, I'm not saying necessarily start deporting everybody that is just, illegal here right off the bat. I'm just saying, hey, we need to really take a look at what's going on. I'm all for getting rid of the violent ones. Like, there's no excuse for not deporting violent aliens.
I totally agree. Next question. Your thoughts on abortion?
I am a pro-life.
Okay, then
I believe in, and this is going to be it's going to be an interesting one, because you guys are going to hear a new stance from a Republican that you guys probably never heard before. I'm looking at opening up the 14th Amendment.
Okay.
As part of my platform. So in the 14th Amendment, the rights are given to citizens who are born. What I'm looking at is reopening the language to add fertilization within there. So not only are we're going to give rights to the unborn underneath the 14th Amendment. I believe that we need to give constitutional rights to the unborn so that we can go ahead and fight for them and fight for the lives. So
interesting.
Go ahead, that's exactly what I'm looking for, is to reopen that 14th Amendment.
Interesting. I've never heard that before. Go ahead, Christy.
So I got a question for you, and this is just a little bit off of your campaign, but just about the Republican Democrat Party in general. Do you think that Republicans have gotten behind on like the door-to-door campaigning that we know that Democrats hit the pavement and they hit it hard all the time. I see that you do that, but do you think as a whole Republicans have gotten behind on that? I saw somebody, mention earlier, get out there and start shaking hands and stuff like that with your possible voters. Do you think that we've gotten behind with that? Do you think that that's part of what slowed us down?
Yeah, it's. I'll answer that in twofold. Okay, you guys are aware of what was called Act Blue, correct?
No.
So Democrats have had about a 10-year advantage over us to begin with. They created a system called Act Blue, which is a fundraising platform that was about a decade before you saw Win Red, which was a Republican response to Act Blue's ability of a fundraising platform. You guys are probably familiar with Act Blue. You just didn't know what it was because BLM used it. It was on their website that anytime you donate to BLM, it goes to Act Blue. So I don't know if you guys knew that, but that piece, so they've been light years ahead of us when it comes to fundraising, as well as what you guys just mentioned. Republicans have got a bad problem, especially these country club elite type Republicans, on getting out into the public and not only relating with the people, but actually talking to the people.
They don't hit the hood.
When I was in Kensington, I was the first Republican that they've seen in Kensington.
And they don't hit the hood.
I don't know how many years.
They don't hit the hood or nothing, bro. That's like the pastors in my community. They don't hit the hood. They don't come out to the community. No. They don't help. They're nowhere to be found. Politicians and the church leaders, they're one and the same. Go ahead.
Now, I have no problem walking to any hood over there because if I'm going to represent an area, I'm going to walk into that area. I'm going to see, and I'm actually going to sit down and break bread with you.
Wow.
I'm going to say, hey, what are your issues? What do you got going on? How can we fix this? It's about getting it done. You know what I'm saying? I don't care for temporary Band-Aids. I think we're all tired of temporary Band-Aids. I think we just want to get these root issues done. And it's so far, I've been receiving an overwhelming amount of support from the people that I'm walking and talking to. I've been hitting up the churches around here too, and saying, hey, church leaders, I expect more from you. I should not be seeing rainbow flags and not the normal rainbow flag that we talk about. I should not be seeing the other rainbow flag inside your church. I shouldn't be seeing BLM or other type of political ideology in your church. What I need to see you do is get out on that street and help out those addicts. What I need to see you do is go help out those homeless. And I need to start hearing the morality come out of you guys again. And then I'll go off to, as I said, I've just got done speaking to police unions, and I was talking to them. So it's all about, as I said, you got to be out in the community as a Republican, and I don't see a whole lot of them doing it. And if they do, it's usually about 2-3 months before a primary.
Yeah.
They're not out there like where I'm at right now, about 19 months out. By the time I reach the primary, I pretty much have talked to everybody in my district already.
I mean, honestly, it's kind of just like, if you look at it, even from the healthcare field, it's kind of like a good doctor. You want a doctor that sits down and explains things to you, not just orders tests, So yeah. I've always kind of just thought that we were really behind in that, and wondered what your thought was on it.
Yeah, we are. And we also have to be careful too from the influencer side too, because it does affect what we're trying to accomplish on the ground. I'll give you a little example. The Juneteenth comments that came out from Candace has been affecting me on the ground here. If I'm in a predominantly black area and all that, you got to be kind of careful about how you go about things or say things. I don't have a problem necessarily with Juneteenth. I don't have a problem with 4th of July. I don't have a problem with any of these holidays. People want to celebrate holidays. But you got to be careful, because that's a lot of times when we're working hard on the ground, influencers have to be careful about how they go about it, because they will relate that Republican is standing in front of them to that individual who just made a comment. So I'm like, but I understand, not everybody needs to enjoy Juneteenth or anything like that. So, I know how to deal with those issues on the ground, but I'm like, hey, look, You got to understand, we're going into 2024. It's going to be a contested. It's going to be a heavily contested race, between all of us that are ground and pounding right now. So we're going to end up answering for things that we may not necessarily say, or we may agree, we may
Or
disagree,
done.
but to
Right.
understand,
Yep.
the ground gets
Yep.
affected by it.
I'm gonna tell you right now, David. I ain't never heard that point of view.
It makes a lot of sense, though, doesn't it, Nino?
Yeah, because the Lord Jesus said to be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. We got to play the game. And you're right. I mean, Candace is up there sitting in her little office, beautiful little office. The same thing with all these other, influencers. They never go out and go hit the street. They never go preach. They never go do nothing but just complain online. That's how they make their money. But you're right. People like us that are on the hitting the pavement, that are amongst our people. We got to deal with the blowback from these viral clips and these influencers that are out here just talking and complaining in their little offices, just like that pervert Louder Crowder and all these people that just in Tim Pool. They got it easy. They can just be on YouTube all damn day complaining, and here we are in the hood with our people in the community doing things. And I salute you, bro, because I never thought about it the way you put it. Go ahead.
Yeah, because I look at, and I've always told these influencers. I've even told Brandon Tatum last week. I look at them in the military sense, like the Air Force, right? So they're laying over that, that high altitude kind of, attack for us. So you could do some good with your messaging, but understand, I'm that one that's on the ground that's actually, taking the fight to, for conservatism on the ground. So I need you to be careful about what you're doing all the way up here. So, because, as I said, you're not in that community. You can bitch and whine about it, but I need you to be more, I need you to be more of a force multiplier for us instead of a hindrance. And I love my influencers because I'm like, hey, you guys are the reasons why, a lot of us found our voice. You guys are the reason why that we came out of nowhere. We were not afraid anymore to stand up, and now we're fighting. But we got to fight that good fight, and we got to fight it smart.
Amen.
So, yeah.
Right here. I got a couple questions. Some I got to watch out because YouTube will ban me. Tammy says this, and if you can, just kind of answer it as best you can. What do you think of your odds with all the voting issues? And kind of, I'm trying to keep it here PG.
We got to be real careful.
Yeah, with the voting.
Okay. So I'll keep it PG. So I find my odds are going to be pretty good if you guys look at voting for my sheriff candidate. I'm just going to put it that way. So if you guys look at voting for my Republican sheriff, he's already talked about instituting various different safeguards for the 2024. He's going to actually live up to the constitutional responsibilities of a sheriff. So, and I think, keeping it PG, what that means, where they will have oversight function of what takes place at these polls.
Interesting. Okay, I got another question. We're going to have you in the hot seat. I don't know if you know old Mikey. Mikey said, didn't you run in New Jersey and you left the people hanging? You left the people hanging there. Are you going to do the same thing in PA? Is there any truth to that? What's the deal with New Jersey?
No. So what happened in New Jersey, just to give you guys, I got played by the actual party, and this is a learning experience for anyone that wants to run for office. It wasn't that I got played or that I left and left them hanging. That Republican Party over there is very, very corrupt.
Okay.
I was a kind of a young guy trying to get into the political field here. They swore up and down, hey, and I was just who I am right here. And you guys got to understand that the devil is kind of like the deceiver type. And not even just, he is. So I had a chair who was working for a Democrat mayor. I didn't know anything about this until later on. But he was working for the Democrat mayor of Jersey City as his urban development director. And his whole goal was to stop Republican registrations from going up. And I didn't know anything about it until later on, until I caught him. I was one of those team players where I was like, yes, let's just do everything for the Republicans. And he was like, you know what? It's not your turn yet. Can you go ahead and, I got this candidate that already wanted to run in this seat. We'll let you go next time. So I did what which was like, okay. you know, I'm kind of new to their Republican Party. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I made the biggest mistake of my life by doing that. Because what happened was he set this person in place, and I think you guys know where I'm going with the Republican Party and how they do this. They set this person in place. This guy had no website, no FEC filing, all the way through the general election. They just placed him there. It was made to make me go away and not fight for that community. So you guys got to understand, when I was looking at the Jersey politics, it was very corrupt. So no, I'm here, and this is where I'm settled. The fight is.
Okay.
Well, we know of somebody else that tried to get into the New Jersey political arena, and it was just a circus show, to be 100% honest. And yeah, so we know where you're coming from. Yep.
Yeah, I'm trying to get myself on my damn camera over here.
And this is why I'm not trusting the GOP anymore. If we got to fight, we're going to fight from the outside of that establishment.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I have another question for you. Tell us about the person, your opponent. Tell us about what their platform is kind of based off of.
Oh, okay. So you guys will find this one interesting. I'm going up against Representative Madeline Dean. The name should sound familiar. She was one of the impeachment managers that tried Trump in the second impeachment on the Senate.
Boo.
She is a far left progressive.
Mm-hmm.
When I talk about what she's trying to do for our schools here, she's all about gender affirmation in our schools, gender identity stuff, the curriculum of CRT. That's just to talk about her educational side. She's about, on her gun side, right now she's introduced to the floor assault weapons bans as well as red flag laws. So she's absolutely anti-Second Amendment.
Yeah, explain to people what red flag laws are, just in case that they don't know what that is. If somebody came and listened to this outside of us and here right now, what a red flag law is.
Okay, so like the easiest way to explain it for people to kind of understand the concept, if you guys have seen Minority Report, it's almost like a thought crime.
Yep.
Is what you're going to fall into. So it's the idea that your neighbor, your friend, or no, I wouldn't even call them friends, or somebody that you know around you in your neighborhood can go ahead and say, hey, you know what? I don't think that this person should be able to carry a gun. I feel like they're, they're off a little bit, mentally unstable. They can go petition to the court. When they petition in front of the court, they can ask, the judge, hey, I don't think that they're stable enough. They shouldn't have guns. That judge will have the ability to say, hey, you know what? All right, I'll agree. And the defendant has the ability to come in after 14 days pretty much and defend against it. But at that moment in time, you have no due process rights. In that 14-day span, they can come over to your house and take your weapons from you. And then when you go to court, you kind of have to defend yourself to get your guns back. That's not only a violation of due process, but it's also a violation of the Fourth Amendment. If anybody is familiar with the Fourth Amendment, you have the right against illegal searches and seizures. In this case, seizures of things. You did not commit a crime, so there's no reason for that seizure. In fact, you didn't commit any crime that would be able to take away a gun. So things like the Laudenberg Act, or committing of any felony, you didn't commit anything. Me as a former cop, I know what will end up happening if you institute red flag laws. You're going to get localized cops all the way through ATF coming to your door. So, no.
So is that pretty much is that a democratic way of disarming the population legally?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
It's trying to make the populace submit, and I'm tired of people not understanding what the Second Amendment is. I think even Republicans sugarcoat Second Amendment. I understand because of my combat veteran side. I've operated in countries where they were disarmed and saw what happens when you disarm a populace and how vulnerable the people become.
Yep.
It will never happen here. It's the reason why these words are, these rights shall not be infringed. Shall not. It's not maybe, it's not, there's no debate. It shall not be infringed. And it's
Amen.
interesting that the government are the ones that are saying, hey, people, we want to put in, these gun laws because of mass shooting. They're playing to emotion. And people are
Yep.
willingly giving up the only right of protection against the ones calling for it, the government.
Wow.
And I have no problem pointing at myself. I'm looking to serve in government. It is your protection against people that would be like, me, a person in government. So why would you willingly give up your own right of protection? I also think that it's a little bit racist in nature. I don't think you guys have probably heard this approach, but the Democrats did the same thing to the Black Panthers back in the 1960s and the civil rights. It's just history repeating itself. Why would I take the guns away from people in Philly to be able to protect themselves against the people that just shoot up their neighborhoods?
Right.
You have just brought along so many good points that hopefully people hear and it resonates with them.
Yeah, I totally agree. Hey, bro, I'm dealing with these camera issues back here, but I feel like we should be on our Instagram live right now. But this is pretty good stuff right here. I know you're basically politicking right now, but I would like to pick your brain, bro, and like just talk to you because you got some pretty good
I would love to do an IG
you know what I
live.
mean? You know what I mean,
Yep.
Chrissy? Like I know he's
We are so censored. Yeah.
Bro, you always see us. We always talk about these issues on IG Live, bro.
I like
Just
it
come
better.
on up.
Yeah, I like it better on Instagram, bro. It's just we got to be careful on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's more, we got to baby the channel. So,
I just wanted to kind of like hit that point home real quick. I belong to the National African American Gun Association, right? I'm in the process of getting that instructor license because one of the most beautiful things about that organization is when you become an instructor, you're mandated to give 20 free classes back to the Black community for free. So I'm doing it out of my own, pocket, my own, love for Second Amendment as well as my love for my people. So it's I think it's absolutely beautiful. I've got to go on the range and shoot with some of those instructors. Absolutely amazing people. They're also attached, by the way, to the NRA. You have a Black Gun Association attached to the NRA, which, apparently they're racist and white supremacists, but you have a whole African American Gun Association attached to them. And we're doing great work to kind of counter that message. That Black Second Amendment rights are a must, and any minority gun rights are a must. Like they need to be protected. Because, I mean, here's my thought, and Christy is, they always tell me all the time, and I know you guys hear it all day, every day. I'm supposed to fear white supremacy, right?
Yeah.
I'm supposed to fear all this institutional and systematic racism going on in America. So why is the first thing that they do when they turn around is take our guns?
Wow.
If I'm supposed to fear all this stuff, then why is the first thing they go do is let me take away your semi-automatic weapons? So it's just, to me, it's like all their policies are counter, they're hypocrisy, or they defeat themselves. Because it's just all based upon emotion and no constitutional founding.
And I totally agree. And I would even fair to say, let me get myself back over here. I would even fair to say that they're getting away from the Constitution. Like it's like they're getting away from the Bible. Amen. But anyways, real quick, let me get to my last question. People say they don't care about voting no more. They're disenfranchised. Trump didn't win. We're pissed. We're the divide between the Republican Party, the conservatives. There's Lady MAGA. There's men in dresses with the MAGA hat on, and people like Adam Calhoun that support this stuff. People we're divided, and some people say they don't even want to vote no more. My last final question for you, Brother David, is: do we have a chance? Do you feel like there is hope for a better tomorrow? And I'm not trying to be corny. I'm like, for real. Do you really think that you can go up there, get elected, first of all, and then make any kind of change whatsoever? Go ahead.
Yeah. So here's what I'm going to tell all my Christians, right? When do we ever just stop fighting? Like,
Never.
like,
Never.
and I got to be quite honest with you, man. As a warrior type, somebody who fought in Iraq and Afghanistan, do you think I just gave up?
Right.
There was times where I just wanted to get, my body, my mind, even my soul wanted to give up on certain fights. Could I get up and do that extra mile? Could I get up and, when I was in the combat, can I, get to that next wall while getting fired or, shot at, or, seeing some of my buddies die to IEDs or whatever it was. But you have to stand and fight, right? To me, the way I look at it is I'd rather die on my feet than ever live on my knees. And it's kind of the ability and the thought process you guys got to have here. Yeah, the odds may be stacked against you, but you have to fight. It's the Christian thing to do too. You like David versus Goliath. Do you think David wanted to give up? I'm pretty sure. I mean, if you look at the size of Goliath or the way that they made him out to be, yeah, okay. He still fought, right? That's the Christian thing to do. Stand up and fight, right? I know that you're going to have all those doubts in your head, right? No, I can't do, the election's going to be this way or whatever. The thing about me is I'm willing to get in that foxhole with you, with your doubt. And I'm going to reassure you, we're going to lean forward and we're going to fight.
Let's go.
Right. And then when I get to DC, I don't care what the Speaker of the House cares about. Right. I don't care about. Here's the thing. I'm not looking to stay in politics. I'm looking to get in, get the bills across to the floor and get out. So it's not like I'm there for a popularity contest. I'm not there to be, the guy that's, on Fox News every day.
Biden.
I'm there to get the bill to the floor and get out. Period.
Hey, in and out. I like that. Okay.
Because I got a family I got to take care of. You know what I'm saying? Like, I care about each and every one of, like, the people here in not only Philly, but in America in general, man. We need to do better. I don't want to lose what I fought for in Iraq and Afghanistan. I don't want to lose, I feel like everyone that I've lost in that battlefield, they all fought for our ability to live so freely, for the ideals, and I'm not going to fail them. I take it seriously.
And something that I heard you say, and I need to say this before we get off here, is I heard you make this comment not too long ago in one of your lives that even the people that we fight with the most, who I'm not even going to name them on here, I'm not giving them any recognition, that call us all these names and stuff like that, y'all fought even for their freedom, and they are just, we have to remember what this is about.
I mean, in the end of the day, that's what's interesting. They can hate me, which a lot of the far left does, but you're absolutely right. I haven't fought for them to be progressive, to be far left. I don't care if you were a Democrat. I don't care if you were independent. I don't care if you're a Republican or you don't vote at all. I believe that, our fight is for everybody here in America. You can fight for you to be whatever you want. I even fight for you to come in my comment section and be able to say whatever you want to me.
Right.
So,
yeah, me too. Yeah, I like
it. It is what it is.
Okay. Let's see here.
I'm pinning or gonna
man,
put his IG.
Yeah, his IG's right there. My brother Eli says, hopefully we don't have to show you this clip after you've been in office 30 years. My boy Eli.
Look, I don't understand people that don't want to retire, bro. I'm trying to retire. I want to get in and get out.
I like that.
So I want to get back to my corporate business over here, back to Philly, and hopefully Philly by that time is fixed. I mean, I hope to God it doesn't take 30 years to make Philly go back to the normal Philly that it used to be.
I don't know, man.
It should only take us 2 to 4 years.
I don't know, man. Seeing that.
Well, I got Fetterman.
Oh, wow.
I got Fetterman, so I got to go deal with Uncle Fester.
To be honest,
I don't know if I should have said that out loud, but yes, I'm not a fan of Fetterman.
No, we're not either.
Well, not to be honest though. You got your work cut out, bro, because that you got a mini Skid Row over there, and I don't know how anyone's gonna take care of that. But anyways,
We
everybody,
got to stop it from growing. Yep.
amen.
Go ahead.
Hey, everybody, David Winkler, the Philly conservative. We just want to bring him on the platform to give his spill on and what he stands on. We asked him the questions. Brother David, the Philly conservative from Instagram, I'm gonna give you the floor right now, and you say whatever you want. Give the message to the people right now. The platform is yours. Go ahead, hit the world with your message, parting words. Go ahead, David.
Yeah. All right. First of all, I just want to thank you guys, or Nino and Christy, for allowing me to come on your platform. My message is very simple. All right. We need to keep up the pressure and keep fighting. Right. Regardless of how we felt about the last few elections, whether we believe that it was stolen or not, we need to keep the pressure up. We're on the right side. Right, we're on the side of Christianity, or God, and all that, the morals. Just keep pushing and keep fighting. And I would love for you guys, as I said, if you guys want to check out my campaign, you guys want to help and all that. Nino's actually got my thing up there. It's got my website on there. And here's the thing: that phone number that's on there, call it. I've already told my staffers that phone number, that it goes directly to me. So you're not getting a staffer. You get me directly. What I believe, as I said, in servant leadership and representative government, I'm going to be available to those who are voters or those who are citizens here. You call that phone, you get me, and it doesn't matter what time of day or night it is. I'm going to help you and I'm going to answer it. All right? Because I also love to hear what you guys got policy-wise. If there's something that I may not have been able to think about or hear about, absolutely bring it to my attention. All right? And that's enough for me.
Awesome. You that was just awesome.
Yeah. I'll say this. Let me bring myself back on here. I'm having a little issue with my dang camera over here, but let me see. I'll say this, David. I've heard refreshing things from you. I'm gonna be honest. I ain't never heard a politician say some of the stuff you said, bro. And for you to even give your number out and tell your people to call you, I highly respect that, because I'm holding my leadership accountable in Midland, and when we put the pressure on them, when they give up that phone number and they say you can call me, I respect that, because I kind of do the same thing too. You got these issues with me, call me, and we can talk like men. Amen. So I respect that, brother. I respect what you stand for. I'm rocking with you on IG. I think you bring a lot to the table. I actually think that you might be too good to be true, to be honest. And I hope and pray you win, and I will help any way I can. Again, I think people like you in politics are dangerous. You're somewhat like Trump. You're not a career politician. And my only fear, if I have any, or lack of better words, is that the swamp don't want people like you. You know what I mean? They don't want the regular average person like us that takes a stand. I hope you make it. If Trump made it, I'm pretty sure you can make it too. I'm just saying, I'm refreshed by what I hear you say, because I don't think I feel like I'm talking to a politician right now. You know what I mean? You're getting into it, like Brother Eli said. Hopefully, 30 years don't pass.
I gotta keep telling you, man. I hate the word politician, because that's not what I am, and I hate being tied to it. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like,
that's the game.
I'm a Marine to a soldier to a cop that's going and doing this because I'm tired of shit. Excuse my language.
I'll go ahead.
So there's no politician in my blood. I'm there to get in, get out. This isn't this. That's why I keep trying to tell people, support the campaign so we can get in, get what you guys need, or get what we need to get done, and get out. I don't care to be in Congress, but some people, we got to stand up and put people are going to do the right thing in there. Period.
Amen. But with that,
that's the way I look at it.
With that, ladies and gentlemen, Brother David, the Philly conservative, brother, we on heavy on Instagram. It's good to see you in person, on YouTube, a different platform. We thank you for your time. And again, anything you need from us, if you need the platform again, let us know. We'll bring you on here. Ladies and gentlemen, the Philly conservative, live in the flesh. Chrissy, thank you. And thank you, brother, for joining us. God bless everybody watching now and on the repeat. And Christ is Lord.
Tito,
simple as that.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Tito. Everybody that gave a super chat, thank y'all. Philly conservative, I salute you. Thank you for your service, brother.
Hey, take care.
God bless.
All right.